Welcome to the Real Spillover Status, the podcast where we leave the titles at the door and talk about the real spill behind the resume. I'm your host, Stevens, and I have a good, close mentor of mine, Tiffanee. I knew Tiffanee for a good time now. It's been about 3 years. 3 years.
Yeah.
But I'll allow you an opportunity just to say a little bit about yourself, and then we get into how the real spill.
Okay. Hey, I'm Tiffanee. I'm from the Bronx. Bronx girly here. I'm a data engineer manager. I've been in corporate for about 12 years. Like Steven says, I met him 3 years ago and excited to do this interview. So let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Mm.
so she's a little nervous right now,
I
but
am. I am.
nah. So I mean, Tiffany, for example, was the reason why I brought her into this podcast was, I mean, when you talk about someone that resembles like dog-like abilities in a sense of how they act, how they move around you, and just how they're able to show their leadership, right? It's something that you kind of just observe from a perspective. And for my first call with you, I remember like when I first started, we met through like a mutual contact, and she was telling me like just to run around. Like this was my first corporate job, I would say. But she was telling me like how things go, what you got to do to survive and just keep alive in this place, very competitive, right? And one thing that she had told me like as a person of color, just like me, she told me her salary, and it definitely like shocked me because I know like a lot of people normally in general, regardless of age or the cases, don't normally share their salary, right? And she was pretty senior compared to where I was just starting at. So for her to share her salary with me just to let me know, it was to give me motivation. Like if you do things this way, this is what you can make in a couple years. It definitely was like, wow, this is like really motivating. Like this was really like someone that just kept it real from the first conversation, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I do often tell people my salary at work, and it's mostly for motivational purposes. I think honestly, from my perspective, as a girl growing up in the Bronx, uptown, and I do know what the struggle looks like. I think it was nice to hear, like, when I met my mentor and they told me how much they made. Like, I'm like, oh, snap. Like, it's like this. Like, what
It's
do
like
I
a
need
wake
to
up
get
call.
there? Like, I
Yeah.
want to know the amount. Like, what do I need to do to level up to that money? And what do I have to do? And I think for most of us, like, the money is important. I mean, for me, it is. So I
Yeah.
feel like, I mean, the passion is good, but passion doesn't pay my bills. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Passion does not pay your
passion does
bills.
not pay my bills. So, I mean, I am passionate about my job, but in general, like, I am motivated by income. Income is an incentive, right? So I do think it incentivizes people to kind of level up and do the things that they need to do in order to get to where they want to be. I think people being transparent about money, especially Black and Brown people, because essentially sometimes we don't even get paid the amount of money we should be making, versus our other counterparts, because people aren't public about it, right? Like it's always a hush hush about around it.
It's just
Um,
lack of knowledge sometimes too.
yes,
Like just knowing you can get this or you can
yeah,
even try to negotiate at a certain point in your career.
and how much you
Yeah.
should be making, right?
Yeah.
Like because somebody will pay you less if they can. I mean, the whole purpose of
A
yeah,
business.
ROIs, like, right? I'm
Yeah.
trying to make as much profit as possible. I'm trying to rigid those margins. So,
Yeah.
I definitely, think that was good. I like Stevens because he showed up. I think showing up is half the battle. I'm a big believer in that. Like Steven said, like having that dog in you, that grit. The grit is showing up. Sometimes you don't want to come, you don't want to show up, but you have to. Like, and sometimes life or your circumstances are not going to be perfect, right? Like you could be having a bad day, things could be happening, something happened. I mean, in certain extreme circumstances, of course, yeah, right. But like for the most part, most people don't show up for like the little things, right? They don't show up for the little things because they don't want to. And I get it, but in order for you to build community, you have to show up for people the way they show up for you. People are not going to go out of their way for you if you don't go out of your way for them. And that's just life in general, whether it's corporate or personal. You're not going to build good friends or networks for people that you don't show up for. So,
For sure. And yeah, I mean, honestly, like she said, like ever since then, I just showed up and 3 years later, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, three years
It's
later,
definitely time has
leading
flied.
things. I honestly look at Stevens as one of my proteges.
Appreciate it.
Took a lot of my advice to heart. I really, do see so much potential in him and all the great things that he's gonna be and become. Look at the podcast, right? Like it was an idea. pushing him beyond his limits on a lot of things. And I mean, to be honest, like I'm a big believer of core characteristics. So once you see someone with tenacity, you really can see that the person is going to go far. It's just tenacity, the right set of tools, and the right ideas behind it can go a long way.
For sure. And yeah, I mean, honestly, she's been a great mentor. Honestly, and it's crazy how time fly.
Mhm.
But yeah, I showed up. We just continued, kept it going at it, and now here we are, still navigating the winds, together. But you know, besides just that, for in terms of common, even right now, it's currently like Women's Month, right?
Mhm.
And another thing over time is getting to know Tiffany is we also share the characteristic of just having like a powerful woman in our lives that unfortunately, are no longer with us today. And, not to shift it like that, but just to shift at the same time is like that didn't even come off, you know, it just happened, like we
Mhm.
didn't meet because of that, but it just happened, and it also brought us closer. Just understanding that, because if you ever lost someone, especially like someone like whether it's your mother or just a special woman in your life, it's pretty hard,
Mhm.
especially if it's someone that's been with you the majority of your life, that grew up with you, pushed you to where you are today, and and also observance for Mother's Month, or just Women's Month, wanted to make sure that I feel like I bring someone as well that can also relate to that extent. And just to talk about the struggles behind it, like on the day-to-day struggles, because it's one thing to get up and do things. There's also one thing to do that just knowing like in the back of your mind who you gotta do it for, right? I know for me personally, like it wasn't easy at first. Um, I lost mine unfortunately during school time. So I was in college. It was like what my junior year,
Mhm.
my sophomore year. It was about to be break. For me, I knew it was coming, just didn't know when. So I did go. I flew to Africa, came back, and I thought about dropping out of school, honestly. But then I was like, my mom had paid for me to go to Catholic school. I didn't have priests pay for me to go to school. So I just thought about if I was to just drop out, even though I was at a city school, like all of that would have been for nothing. So it wouldn't make sense to do that. So I came back, did like 18 credits, and I was working full time. I was an RA at the time. So I kind of just used that like all that anger or just feelings, and I just kind of put it towards something like beneficial, just knowing that I know at the end of the day we wanted to make sure that I did finish school within 4 years, get a good job. And that's how I was been able to, but it's a battle every day, you know what I'm saying?
No, sure.
But yeah, that's kind of how I was able to mentor mine. I didn't we never even talked honestly
I know.
mature, so I don't even know. Like this is
Ah,
not scripted. I have no
no, it's not,
idea. I never
yeah.
really talked, but I know that she had lost her mother because she had just brought it up one day in the conversation just randomly. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so I think I bring it up because you mentioned it.
yeah,
So I don't usually talk about losing my mom. It's like one of my Achilles heels. But I mean, in good fashion, it's Stevens. So
for
I
sure.
will bring it up. So I lost my mom when I was 11. I was raised by my sister. And I hope to raise my nephew. It was a lot. It was hard. I didn't want to go to college necessarily. Um, it's hard to go through life without your mom. Like, your mom is the first person that loves you. I mean, she gives you your purpose, right? I mean, for most people, right? I think, and knowing that my mom passed and my sister pushing me to go to college, I went to college. And I'm a big on completing. So I'm a big extremist. I'm
Once
either
you
going to
do
do
it, you
something
gotta,
all the way, I'm not going to do it all. So because of that is why I finished school. I finished early. I completed on time. A lot of people that went to my school didn't. I think, and doing so, I became the first generation college graduate. Um, my family's from America. Like I can literally go back like 3, 4 generations of people in America. So with saying that, it's just like very astonishing. I've honestly have accomplished so much. Like literally, one of our other friends was like, "Oh, you're your ancestors' wildest dream," and sometimes it's a lot to be that, but I mean,
mm,
it's good because you are accomplishing new heights, right? I still have my grandma. My grandma's 94. God bless. And essentially, like some of the things I do, she's like, "Oh my God, like you're so brave, like you're so courageous, like." how are you able to do these things? Or are you not scared? And sometimes you do things scared. I think as you go through life and you realize life is short, by having a loss so sudden and so young, you kind of take life by the horns, right?
Yeah, you kind of gotta like it really makes you very independent in a sense, even if you wasn't. But it's kind of like you got to figure it out now. I mean, like,
Hmm.
yeah, you have family members around you to some extent. I know, like, for me, like, my mom is a very giving person, very big hearted. But at the same time, I always knew my whole life she was too big hearted. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to tell her, like, you're doing too much. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh, Steven,
once it
yes.
happened and I kind of seen how it bounced back, I could count, like, in fingers
No,
the
how many
amount of
people show up?
people, like,
Yeah.
people show up or actually check up on me. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? But like I'm telling you, this lady used to like travel. I told you we was
I
Uber Eats
know.
before Uber Eats. The whole East Coast. If my family members see this, they will know I'm not lying. Like really on weekends, having me travel with bags and trains to deliver food, and it's like for free. Like not even doing it. I mean, like
Nah, it's true. My mom the same way.
yeah,
Like my
like
mom used to make dinners. She would make plates. We fed my whole building. We fed like almost the whole Harlem.
man, that
I'm
shit
not
is
kidding.
crazy. Like
And my mom used to work as a barmaid, and she worked in Harlem, all the like famous bars. So Lennox Lounge, VD Lounge, like all of the a lot of them are closed now, but a lot of the lounges and bars.
classics.
And literally like all the old timers, like when I do go to Harlem, know
They still
me.
remember you. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's respect.
but it's just like, you can count like when you're going through it, you
Yeah.
can count on your hand how many people
You
show
count.
up and that time like to be there. Like even my mom's closest friends, like they were nowhere to be found.
Yeah. And I think like it's the type of thing like you can't even if you've lost someone, if it's not to like that extent, it's kind of hard to relate. Like I don't even try to make it a comparison thing, but it's kind of hard to like
It's true.
you can't really compare it. So I don't try to compare it, but like for me, it was really like I felt like my mom was training me, preparing me my whole life for that moment. So when it
Hmm.
did happen, I kind of was like I was already doing things by myself for like a year or two before that.
Gotcha.
She was in the hospital, so I was already taking care of stuff. I already done been like in high school, coming home by myself, making food or buying food or doing bills. So like that's also where like my money management come into play because I had to like certain amount of money. She might tell me do this, do that. So I was pretty organized, but when it hit, it was like, damn. And then she always told me like, no one's ever gonna hold it down for you like I will. And I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But
Nah, you don't
I'm
really
like, well, you
think.
got mad people that I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, nah,
Nah, nobody.
nah, like, so
Hmm.
I feel like with that being said, it's just a different type of hustle. I think I would have still had the hustle I had, but not necessarily because she's the mother babies you, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's always someone I know for sure, birthdays or whatever the case is, like all that is like done deal. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's
Your mom's your first love.
yeah, so it's with that being said, it's something that I feel like and to all the mothers out there, or if you have one out there, just make sure that you really do take the time to appreciate them. And
Yes.
even if you do get like they do get on your nerves, because my mom was
Nah,
getting
you
me
get
on my
married.
nerves for
Yeah.
sure.
All the
And
time.
I wanted to be independent so bad when I was teen, but now it's like, damn, like so I definitely would say just make sure you appreciate your mom or whatever lady that's in your life that's taking care of you, making sure
Yes.
looking out for you because you only do get that love once.
Yep. And you don't know how much they sacrifice for you, even in a short time period or a long time period. And I honestly feel like, even though my mom died when I was 11, it still never goes away. That feeling, that
It
hurt,
don't.
it feels like yesterday. Anytime you talk about it, it just feels raw. And it feels raw because it's like it's an unconditional love. It can't be measured. It can't be. There's no way to kind of, especially if you felt love from your mom. Um, so definitely, like Steven said, appreciate your loved ones, people taking care of you, and looked out for you. I mean, I'm very grateful for my sister. She loved on me. She did the best she could, especially, going through depression with my mom being gone as well, still having to take care of everything, bills and stuff. And I stepped up a lot. As a kid, I was a child parent. So like Steven said, you having to take care of things like I did as well. Like cooking dinner, getting my nephew dressed for school, doing homework,
Mm.
doing all those things to try to like make my sister's life and my life easier. Making sure you keep your grades good, so you're not a headache. Like all these things that you learn to kind of, like, I guess, overcompensate
Yeah, you
for
try to
the
do.
loss.
Yeah, it's like you try to really make sure like anything you do or the case like you try to do more than doing little. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And for me, like, I don't know, like for me, like the way I was able to turn it around, like I said, it's not a feeling that you ever forget. Like you can't really ever get over it. It just kind of lives with you. At least when I think about it, if I really think about it, I just think about exactly how the day played out.
Yeah, same. I
Yeah,
mean, I agree.
yeah,
It just sits with you. It's like a club you never want to be a part of, honestly.
yeah,
And I'm so grateful, like, when I see those videos of like people traveling with their mom or doing so
yeah.
many things with their mom, I'm just like, damn, man, like they're so lucky. So, always keep that in mind as you go through life and appreciate your family as much as you can. I mean, you only get one. So,
But I mean, and I would say like for like fast forwarding now, it's really like especially like in my family too. I was the first person, college wise, and now too like I lead like the whole family technically, but they protect me a little bit, but not really too much. I have a really big family, so most of them are back home in Africa. But now it's like everyone really depends on me. My mom was the only one that came from the USA, really, out of our family. We have family members, but like out of my specific family, like the only one really. So, but that being said, now like everyone kind of looks at me. It's a lot of pressure, but it's at the end of the day, I can only control what I can control, and I
hmm
feel like I'm doing the best. You take things day by day, and yeah, I mean, for you, how did you feel like you was able to kind of like, I guess in the say to say, turn your pain into passion, or like, because looking back at it, like, what do you feel like you done that really was like, man, I'm really doing this. Like, I'm really just able to, zone it out. You know what I'm saying, or to a certain extent.
I think one of the biggest accomplishments I've done this year, well, actually last year, I purchased my home. I think that was like
Congrats.
really big. I really wanted to do it. Something that's been on like my bucket list for a while now. And honestly, I could have did it before. I just was scared. Like Steven says, having people like depend on you, and when you don't have people to depend on like that, it's hard to make like risk leaps, right?
Yeah,
You're kind of like sticking to the path that you already set
y-
because
in comfort zones.
yeah,
Yeah,
and because you are essentially someone that people look for help, right? So who do you go to when help is unavailable, right? And then who do you go to when the amount of help is a lot?
yeah,
You don't have that. I mean, at least I don't. So in those cases, I think I was like a little nervous, but I think that's one of the things that I'm like super proud of myself for doing. Um, I think I think honestly, like, just like I said, pulling life by the horns. Like I'm like, this is one life. I'm gonna live it the way I want, and I'm not gonna settle in it.
yeah.
So I'm gonna get all the things out of life that I want to get out of it, whatever
Mm,
that is. I mean, as I grow, my vision or my dreams change, but I want to get the things that I want to get.
yeah.
And that's pretty much like how I
Yeah.
think of it.
And I think like just understanding like everything is within is everything is really possible if you set your mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I think it is but again it comes back to kind of like that dog mentality, right? Like everyone not everyone unfortunately is able to necessarily just still stay the course, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There are a lot of ways to easily get lopsided. Like I could have went south,
Yes.
a lot of people go south after they lose someone. It's very hard, but to really take that and to really still go. And it's like sometimes you don't even know unless you really know the person. You know what
No,
I'm
it's
saying?
true. Yeah. Because people don't really know that I lost my mom.
Yeah,
I don't really talk about it. So,
yeah, I
and
really
people
don't.
always categorize me as strong, right? And I'm strong because I had to be strong, like not because I necessarily wanted to be strong. I think, and with that being said, and it's not a bad label. It's just what happens, right? As you go through life and you realize like you got to save yourself, and in saving yourself, you got to do the extra work. You got to be hungry. You got to work harder, a little harder than other people, right? Because somebody else said that they want this dream that you said you want.
Yeah.
Are they gonna really put in the hours to get it? No. Are they gonna put in more hours than me? No. And they're not. Why? Because I am. Like I know what I want. Like, I mean, and I think like kind of envisioning what you want and really going after it. I think like you said, when you go back to like just envisioning where you want to be and thinking about like where you truly want to be, like not what you think people,
Yeah, really.
yeah, like
Yeah.
what validate you or value you, but where you truly want to be. Like I think I can go back to before my mom passed. I always wanted to be like a businesswoman. I don't know. I did. Like I always like would watch those movies and I would see like the black women and they would have like those nice suits on, like skirt suits or like
Mm.
power suits with heels. And I always thought that was so cool. Like I'm like, oh my god, I want to be a badass woman. Like I want to be a woman that like controls a
Yeah,
room or
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, life hits you quick. I'm not gonna lie. Life
Mhm.
does hit you quick. And I feel like, everything also too is about if you exercise it and really stay committed, of course, like we say this, of course we have people around us, but it comes down to it at the end of the day though, it is a certain type of grit that you have to inherit.
Yeah. And
Because
focus.
yeah, focus.
Mm.
Because yeah, there's people, but sometimes you kind of, I don't know. It's like sometimes you're in survival mode,
Yes.
and it's not like I have to be in survival mode, but it's like I just know realistically, like I like my back. I think about it mentally. I'm back against the wall. I just have to. I'm not thinking of a friend or I'm not thinking of my family. Someone to come save me. I'm thinking like, nah, I gotta figure this shit out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I agree. It's the same. That's why it's just like, like, people like, oh, pivot or they're like on their third life. I'm like, I don't know. I definitely think it's not easy. Like it's not like especially growing up in the hood, like I'm from the South Bronx, man. I've seen a lot. Honestly, when I think back, like I'm like, yo, how did you even get here? Like, and
Yeah,
not even to be funny, like the people in the company I had like 10 years ago, 15 years ago,
completely
20 years
different.
ago, totally different, man. Like crazy, like some of the things I've seen, some of the places I've been that I shouldn't have been at. Um, and it kind of all built this person we got here. And I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. I mean, I've been a lot of places that I probably shouldn't have been. Um, and I could have stayed stuck there. I just knew that I was like, nah, this ain't for me. Like,
And I guess since you're going back to that, what do you think like? When do you think was the breaking? I mean, you said your sister was pushing you and stuff, but when did you really feel like it clicked in your light bulb, like in your
I
mind?
honestly was the money. Like, I literally was like, I don't know, like, and I graduated at a bad time. So I graduated the housing crash.
Oh damn.
So it was like suck. Like there was no jobs.
Yeah.
And when like before I graduated, they were like this big promise of like coming out of college as a college graduate. This was like the plan or the millennial, like the dream they sold millennials. So like you graduate college,
Yeah.
you're gonna get a job and you're gonna make like 60K. And at that time, 60K was a lot of money.
Hmm.
So I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna make 60K. Like I'll be like the first person in my family to make 60K.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, if I make it 60K, I'm definitely have enough money to like do the things
Yeah.
I
Do
want
the
to
things you
do
want to do.
and like be independent.
Mm.
And I didn't get out of college making 60K. Like, I think I was making like 30 and I had a second job. I was like, "Ugh, the pits, man." It was
Yeah.
bad.
Reality
The
hits.
reality hits and it wasn't like the dream we were sold wasn't the reality. And I mean, nothing's wrong with 30K. It just is not enough money to survive even 15 years
During
ago.
that time.
So now definitely not,
Yeah,
right? And I
definitely.
mean, there's plenty of people that make about that amount of money in New York City, unfortunately, but it's just not enough money to survive. Like you would need a second job or a partner or something to survive. So it was a lot. And I think I was like so miserable. And I was just like, yeah, I went to school, I did all this stuff, I did
And
everything
the
right,
mountain
and it
again.
amounted to nothing. And then I literally got a job in analytics. And analytics saved my life. Like coding literally saved my life. It changed my life. Like once I started to code and I started like doing critical thinking, Oh, it was in solving problems. Man, there was money to be made.
That's when I
Yeah,
started hitting
that's
you.
when the door opened. Like
I was
it
like, all
cracked
right,
open wide. I was like,
this is more like
oh
it.
yeah. I was like, this is what I.
This is more like it.
I was like, oh, I didn't work this hard for that. I worked this hard for
For
this.
this, yeah.
And once I seen that, it was just like, okay, great. Um, okay, then you learn the rest of the rules, like, right? Because like, I mean, coding. I don't want to say it's the easiest part because it's not, but it's pretty
Yeah.
easy. Like it's common.
Once you get the hang of it, you get the hang
Yeah,
of it.
once you
You know
get
what
the
I'm
hang of
saying?
it, I think the critical thinking part is the biggest issue. Like you need to be able to solve problems. Like
Yeah.
and the best part solving problems and I think process improvement or like automation is like the biggest
Yeah.
things that you would want to bring to someone because you want to show someone like, okay, what's your issue? How can I solve it? Like,
Yeah,
or
that's all.
we can solve it with this way. They might not use your idea, but it doesn't matter. The fact that you have ideas to
Bring
help.
something to the table. Bring
Yes.
something to the table.
And I think those are like the biggest things. And yeah, that was pretty much like I think that was really like analytics, man. Really good.
And I think too, to your point, especially to a lot of college grads, right? I'm sure you guys
Hmm.
are getting into college. It hasn't been a good, you
Oh
know.
yeah, that
I
hurt.
know people be saying it just to say it, but as someone, I mean, I got lucky in my position that I got, but however, like it hasn't been good thus far, like in terms of like the economy.
I think I mean, but I feel like you guys were making more than us coming out, and I'm really happy for you guys, like because you were able to start off life in a
Yeah,
better, like especially if you were responsible, like if
yeah,
you're responsible and you invested the money and you did the right thing by it, yes. Now if you just went out and balled
yeah.
out,
If you was really just
and
living
I
it up,
understand if you did because like, bro, I was struggling, like I used to
yeah.
sleep in the living room, man.
And
I
I think
gotta,
that's just like a mentality, especially with someone that's just coming from like the hood or just like a
yeah.
little less fortunate situations. We think once we get our first check or so, or just
Yes.
first opportunity, I gotta like spend like
I gotta ball out.
80% of this shit, or sometimes they just spend everything without even thinking. Like no type of. I mean, I get it, but it's kind of
Yeah.
like you didn't get here just to just go down again. You got here to like
I don't
maintain.
think you think of it like that. I think I mean, you're trying to have a time. And I
Yeah, but
understand
time
because I had
to
a
what
time.
to what extent though? You know what I'm
I had a
saying?
good time. I'm not gonna lie, I did. I need to catch up for that. Catch up.
Yeah, I mean, too though, money value does
And now
change.
it changed,
Yeah,
but
that 30.
that beginning, woo,
Yeah,
a time was had.
yeah. I mean, I thought I was gonna be balling first
Now I
time I
thought,
got
yeah,
my job,
yes.
and then I learned about taxes, and then just I don't even look at. I'm not happy for taxes no more. You know what I'm saying?
My
Like it's just
opinion.
like, but and I think to touch on your point too, though, I also have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
I know too. Ever since like I've connected with you, you have a strong passion, honestly, for like making sure people are good, making sure like especially people of color, just advocating for opportunities or their cases. Or I've done seen you just pull people aside and like try to really figure out what's going on with them and try to see ways to help them. Like where does you feel like that come from? Do you feel like it was something that was probably lacking when you was getting like in school, or just from a mentorship perspective, or did you feel like you just think a lot of people just don't know things and you feel like it's in your position
Um,
too?
I think part of it's for my sister. My sister's a people pleaser, and I'm also a people pleaser at times. Um,
At
I
times.
it is at times because it's not for
That's fair.
everybody.
It's fair. It's fair.
I did switch up a lot. So I used to be like really bad. Now I'm boundaries with it. I think thanks to therapy, but I think
Mental health is important.
yeah, I think for me, I feel like there was a lot that I didn't know, especially coming from where I came from.
Mm.
Like my family didn't have no 401k. I mean, people knew about pensions, but like not 401k. Like they didn't know about 401k. We didn't know about stock investment. Like all these things that you learn as you go through corporate
Yeah.
and how to maximize, like how to 10x your money, like HSA, all those things. Like they didn't have that. Nobody knew about that.
Hmm.
And I think like it used to frustrate me. I think that was like my biggest issue in matriculating and family. It was like they couldn't help me solve any of my problems. Like
Because yeah, you
they,
was already breaking through barriers and doors. So yeah, I get your
yeah.
sense.
So because of that, I think I'm always conscious. of what people might or might not know. So I'm always sharing.
Hmm.
And I think I share because I don't want you guys to leave like money or opportunity on the
On the
table.
table. Oh,
So like anytime, like just randomly I'll drop a gem just because it's like maybe you didn't know that. And then sometimes it's like, oh, I really didn't. Like,
yeah.
and a lot of times when I do mention it, most of the people don't
Don't
know
know.
and they look like me. And I feel like, I mean, I'm giving a game to whoever, like if you ask me, but it's just like, if I'm around you and you're in my circle, like I want you to win. So I'm
Right.
gonna tell you the things that I know. Like I just found out that you could like your car has equity, like a lease has equity. I didn't even know that. Like
Yeah.
you can sell your lease.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I don't know. I mean, I didn't like.
I don't know the specifics either, but
Yeah, no.
I've heard it.
I mean, I learned this, but I know the specifics, but I learned this now. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm saying this to say, like, this is something that most people don't know because most people that look like me that are from the South Bronx can't afford to buy new cars, right?
Yeah.
People are buying used cars, so they don't have a lease. They don't have equity to have in a car,
Yeah.
right? They're not picking out cars with
New
equity.
cars. Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist, and I'm not saying that there aren't people that are able to do that from where I'm from. I'm just saying the people that I knew where I'm from didn't have that. So, it, for me, a lot of times, like I said, I drop gems because I was just like,
Just
oh, in case
cause.
you might not know, like,
Yeah. And I think that's good too. I mean, not only that, but just sometimes someone just don't want to ask because they're also afraid or just don't want to feel like, they're not intelligent enough to know something. Sometimes it's really just lack of, not necessarily you, but just your environment, your surroundings, or what I'm
hmm
saying. Of course, we can all be curious to a certain extent, but if we don't know, you don't know, right?
yeah, for sure.
Um,
And when you don't know.
you know,
And I mean, sometimes you don't even know it. Like, I never, like, I'm from the city. Like, I didn't really even need a car. Like, I live South Bronx. I could take the train. So to have a car now is just like, I don't know, crazy. Like, even when I drive now,
luxury. I mean, I don't.
I
Yeah,
mean, I don't want to. I feel like low key it is because like you don't really need a car in New York. Like if you live somewhere
you
else, you
don't.
did. So
But
I
taking a
feel
train
like
your whole life is.
I mean it is wicked, but
Yeah.
I mean you should know how to drive, but do you really need
In the
it?
city, you don't need it.
We
But
don't.
once you go to driving, though, I honestly,
I'm not gonna never going
like,
back.
like,
But I'm just saying
yeah, you
like
don't need it.
you don't need it.
It's
But I haven't been back
I
though.
probably
It's just
wouldn't go back. I'm not gonna lie. It's nothing. It's honestly, just I'm telling you, once you just do it, it's like
you're not
I took
going
the
back.
train my whole life, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
same. I took my whole yo, we used to go into Brooklyn on the
it's
train. Like
like
I just Brooklyn
train
for the
traffic
Bronx is
ahead
like
of
an
us. You know what
hour.
I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm good.
So
I
yeah,
seen enough
it's a lot. Yeah, you
enough on
see
the train.
everything every day, something new in the trains. But
Yeah.
nah, honestly, I mean, just to wrap up, I really do appreciate you taking the time to come and not only that though, but just the fact that like you came and was able to be vulnerable and give real spill, right?
hmm
Um, I know like this is not something that necessarily would be said like in open doors or the cases. So I definitely do appreciate you taking the time to be vulnerable in this space.
hmm
And I would say like if you had any last gems, what would you give to someone that probably just lost someone, or even if it's not necessarily that, but just also just navigating it in corporate, being that you have an extensive experience of corporate, like what do you feel like students or just Gen Zs nowadays are lacking, or what do you see that they can do better in?
Okay. I think if you lose someone, I think definitely seek therapy, support groups. I wish I would have utilized that more when I was younger. Um, yeah, because like nobody even knew my mom died at school. Like I didn't tell a soul.
Yeah, it's
Like my
also
sister went to school and she was like I was acting out, but no one knew. And the teacher's like, yeah, she's not herself. It's like, oh yeah, because her mom passed. She's like, oh, she never mentioned it. Like no one. So I definitely think use your resources in those cases, your friends, your support groups, definitely help. I think in navigating corporate, I think learning the landscape, understanding your value and what value you can bring to the table. And I know that sounds like so cliche,
cliche.
but it's really true. Like I mean, sometimes like showing up is half the battle, right? Like Steven said, I met him on the phone. I told him we were having an event, and I was like, "Hey, like, if you're really serious, I'll be here. I'll be around next Tuesday." He was like, "All right, I'll see you then." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, whatever." Like, I talked to a bunch of people. They don't usually show up, and he showed up, and I was like, and he just, like he said, he just kept showing up, and I think those people are valuable, like beyond measures, right? Because where are people when you need them? We talked about it nowhere to be found, right?
Yeah.
So I think, being around, making use of your time, and learning the landscape. I think the learning the landscape is the biggest
Reading the
thing.
room.
Reading the
Yeah, your
room,
ability to
yes.
read the room, definitely.
Yes, like
Yeah.
literally, like I always tell the story. All the time. My first day at a big corporation. I was coming from like a more small corporation, and I was just like, okay, Black people, where are they? I was like, oh, ERG. Okay, hey, ERG. Oh, great. Black ERG. Hey, hi, I am new here. Please help me. And, I'm just like, and, I met some amazing people through like a resource group,
Resource
man.
group.
And they told me the lay of the land, like how things work. Because that's what you need. You need to understand where
Yeah.
you are, how things work, what what goes up, what goes down. And I think those are the biggest things. Like once you understand the landscape, you can maneuver how you want because you want to know the rules, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to understand the rules and how the rules are, whether they're said or they written down. Like I want to know both rules, right?
Especially in
Sets of rules.
corporate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I know how to move around them or if I
Yeah.
want to break them, right? But because I've broken a rule too. But I think and knowing it and knowing the repercussions of what that
Yeah.
means, right? I think those are like the biggest takeaways I would give.
Yeah. And I think you touched on some good points. I think too, just from my experience of thus far being in corporate, you gotta have like a circle, right? It could be mixed levels. Like I never really, like I said, we met through mutual contact, but I didn't know. My first year or so, just in corporate, I was doing a lot of networking. I still do, but I kind of at this point already got a decent circle that I kind of rely on or just keep a loop with. And you kind of learn that over time as it comes. Um, wasn't from being forced. It wasn't from like forcing networks. You're gonna know who's your person,
Yeah, and don't
right?
force
Don't
networks.
force.
Like
Don't force.
I
Yeah.
think the biggest key takeaway of networking is build actual relationships with people.
Yeah.
You don't want to build something that's tangible, right? Like if
Yeah.
this was passing, I wouldn't be here, right? I'm here. I'm talking. I'm vulnerable. I'm talking about things that I probably wouldn't talk about with other people. Is because we're really cool, right? I've known you for 3 years. We've had connection. Like I've, you know, mentor you. I consider you one of my proteges, right? So with that being said, like you would get a certain person with me as opposed to somebody new where they're not going to get that person. And I think also understanding that, right? Understanding that, the more relationship building you do, the more, I mean, it's like family dynamics, right? Like,
Yeah.
people will do more for you depending on your relationship and how much you poured in and they poured in as well,
Yeah.
right?
It's definitely like, it's not. It's definitely interchangeable, right? It's not like
Hmm.
because if you build it on something, then once that thing goes away, then it goes away, and then at that point you're back to zero. Um, so yeah, again, like I really do appreciate you coming in and being vulnerable, sharing this open space. I definitely learned a lot from you today, but nonetheless, I definitely still know that you have that dog in you. You're definitely a good person, a role model that I look up to as well. And I wish you nothing but success in your future,
You
Tiffany.
too, Steven.
Thank
Steven's,
you.
you mark my words, Steven's gonna go to the moon. Watch.
Fingers crossed. Fingers
Yes,
crossed.
definitely.
But this is why the title doesn't make you, but the real spill does. Have a good day.